Hello students, welcome to English class. Today we are going to read first chapter of Supplementary Reader. This is a book of NCERT of 8th standard and it is a part of English literature and its name is It So Happened. And the first chapter that we are going to read today is How the Camel Got His Hump. This story, students, How the Camel Got His Hump is a fable written by noted writer Rudyard Kipling. The story is about the time when animals had just started working for man. However, while the other animals worked, the camel, one of the characters of this story, would just laze around in the desert, refusing to do any work. So, what happened with him by doing this kind of behavior, we will know in the story. So, let's start reading the chapter. Before the chapter, as you can see on the screen, 3 points are given. These 3 points we will cover up in the chapter. What are these? First point is, the world had just begun and the animals were working for humans. There was one lazy animal that did nothing and said nothing but hump. Even the clever jinn was at his wits' end. These 3 points we will read in this story. So let's start reading the story. In the beginning, when the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel, and he lived in the middle of a howling desert because he did not want to work. He ate sticks and thorns and prickles, and when anybody spoke to him, he said, "Hump, just hump and no more." The lesson describes a story about how the camel got his hump. The author says that at the beginning of the world, everything was new. Various animals started to work under the subjugation of man. But there was a camel who lived in the middle of a howling desert and was fed on sticks, thorns and prickles. He was not interested in doing any work. He was not interested and not willing to do any work. Even if he was asked to do work, his only reply was hump, as it was his favorite word, hump, and no more. Presently, the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back and said, "Camel, O camel, come out and trot like the rest of us." "Hump," said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. Presently, the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth and said, "Camel, O camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us." "Hump," said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. Presently, the ox came to him with the yoke on his neck and said, "Camel, O camel, come and plow like the rest of us." "Hump," said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. On Monday morning, what happened? A horse went to him. The horse approached with the saddle on his back and asked Camel to trot like the rest of them. The camel gave him a cold reply and said, "Hump." The horse went away and informed the man. After some time, A dog with a stick in his mouth came to the camel. He also asked him to come along to do some work. But the camel again said, "Hump," and turned a cold shoulder to him. Then the dog left to tell it to the man. Then, thereafter, an ox came with the yoke on his neck and asked to plow like him. As per the habit, the camel replied, "Hump," to him also. The ox reported the man about this. Ox also reported about the camel to man. At the end of the day, the man called the horse and the ox and the dog and the ox together and said, "Three, O three, I am very sorry for you. But that hump thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now. So I am going to leave him alone. And you must work double time to make up for it." That made the three very angry, and they held a panchayat on the edge of the desert. And the camel came chewing cud and laughed at them. Then he said, "Hump," and went away again. Presently, there came along the jinn, who was in charge of all deserts, rolling in cloud of dust. All the three animals are complaining to the man about camel in the picture. So at the end of the day, they complained to the man. The man summoned the horse, the dog, and the ox. He asked them about the camel. All three animals told him what had happened when they went to camel and asked for work. Even after hearing them, the man asked them to work double time in order to compensate for the camel's work in place of camel. This made all three of them furious and angry. So they decided to hold a panchayat on the edge of the desert. The camel listened to it, but ignored them. He laughed at them and left from there. And in the panchayat, appeared the jinn, who were in charge of all deserts. Further story tells, "Jinn of all deserts," said the horse, "is it right for anyone to be idle?" "Certainly not," said the jinn. "Well," said the horse, "there is a thing in the middle of your desert with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot." "View," said the jinn, whistling. "That's my camel. What does he say about it?" "He says hump, and he won't plow," said the ox. "Very good," said the jinn. "I'll hump him if you will kindly wait a minute." So during the panchayat, panchayat is going on. All the three are complaining to the jinn about camel. So during this panchayat, the horse complained about the camel to the jinn. He told him that the camel would not work and only say hump all the time. All the three put forward their complaints before the jinn, and then the jinn decided to teach him a lesson. He promised them that he will set the camel right. Then the jinn wrapped himself in the dust cloak and went into the desert to find the camel. So students, up to here, up to first part, we came to know the story that this is about a camel, about a lazy camel who was not interested and willing to do any work, and says hump to everyone whoever asked him to work, as the hump word is his favorite. The horse, the ox, the dog went to him to ask him to work, but he did not listen to them and replied them only hump. All the three had to work double time due to this. Thus, they decided to complain about the camel to the jinn of all deserts, and the jinn assured them that he will set the camel right. Then, in the next part, in the next class, we will read what decision will be taken by the jinn about the camel, about his behavior. What kind of decision the jinn will take, that we will read in the next part, in second and last part of the lesson in next class. Till then, keep learning and reading. Thank you. Have a nice time.